Hello, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to the inaugural blending of Hello. And the Demystify the Divine weekly readings and tools to connect. So excited today to be bringing these two creations that I have been doing together because I feel that it is time to do some amalgamation of things. It is time to really be clear on the guidance, the information from all of our dream teams, and really excited to be offering this to you guys today. So I would like to introduce you to our fabulous producer, Keone. He is going to be popping in from time to time to give me some nonsense and shenaniganery that we get to banter back and forth with, because he always makes me laugh and I love that. So you guys will get to know him. He's going to be handling all of the questions and comments in the feed. We are also with this new amalgamation able to stream live to both YouTube and Facebook. And so this is a beautiful way for all of my Facebook followers for Winged Wednesday to also be able to get a chance to enjoy this Demystify the Divine, where we are going to be doing all sorts of fun stuff today, tapping into all sorts of things. We've got card pulls, we've got channelings, we've got word of the week that's often a phrase of the week. We've got questions for you to be able to do your own card pulls with the Grab Your Deck segment, which I love doing. And it's a way to take the general reading and to make it more individualized for you so you can apply it to your life and know exactly how to handle what's coming up for the week. So really excited to be here. So excited for everyone to be here as well. And for all of my Winged Wisdom fans who, by the way, I had been doing Winged Wisdom for 5 years. So this almost 6. So this is a great opportunity to be able to come together and bring everyone together, all my YouTube peeps, as well as my Facebook peeps together. And Wing Woman Crystal is still with us. She's not going to be popping on live today. We're still working out some kinks, but she is going to be monitoring the Facebook feed. So you'll be able to talk to her. You'll be able to see what's coming and going, submitting your questions to her, and it's all one big happy family. So let's dive in. For those of you who are on YouTube, feel free to like, subscribe, and click the bell on my YouTube channel. For those of you on Facebook, again, feel free to like and comment as the show goes on. Really looking forward to this today. So, Keone, do you want to say hi before I dive into our word of the week? Oh, it looks like he is indisposed at this time.
I am not indisposed. I was just clicking buttons back here.
All right. So everyone, this is Keone, and he is awesome and fabulous, and he makes me laugh all the time.
You are too kind. I make you laugh. Okay, I will stop sending you baby pictures because I don't want you to keep laughing so much till you fall out.
No more baby pictures. I can't handle it. I just can't handle it.
Oh, man. Okay.
All right, Keone, I am going to go into my happy place, and I am going to channel our word of the week that sometimes is a phrase of the week.
Yes, sometimes it's a word, sometimes it's a phrase, sometimes it's a paragraph. I never know what's going to happen with Stacy here. We're having a good time. We already started off a little rocky with the first day of the show. I sent the invite link to the wrong Stacy, so my friend Stacy Miller jumped in here to do a show that she had no idea about, so I gladly kicked her out. But make sure that you are here and loving our segment, liking on YouTube. I will be putting a link in the chat. So if you want to join during the Grab Your Deck session, all you have to do is click that link and come on in. Those of you who want cards read live, you'll go first, and then we'll get to the ones that are in the chat. We try to get to as many of them in the chat that we can. If you have your own deck, tell us what you pulled. If you don't have your own deck, don't worry, because Stacy will pull a card for you. And I'm only letting you guys go today. She's told me enough about myself over the last 2 months. I'm over it. So we're just going to leave it up to her.
He always tells me that I tell him to eat more vegetables when I do his readings, which I think is so funny. All right. Our phrase of the week, because it's a phrase, is be in your inner space. And what I'm getting around this, the message for this is because we are moving into this next week, well, and kind of the energy of where we're at right now, it's really important that we be in touch with ourselves, that we really connect on a deeper level. So I want to say to you, the opportunity this week is to really go within. It's to breathe deeply, to stop what you're doing every so often, to do a quick check-in with the body, with the breath, with the soul, with the heart. How's my heart feeling today? Where's my brain at today? What's going on in my gut? What is happening there? Let me breathe into those spaces. Because when I stop the busy work and the doing, when I just stop and connect to the body, I'm connected to source. And of course, we're never not connected. We're always connected, but we have a way of feeling disconnected. And it's usually because we're in our heads. We're dealing with a whole whack of anxiety that's going around that we're kind of stressed about. We're escaping the body because there's so many things going on that it's painful or overwhelming and we don't know what to do with it. So we get caught up in our heads. And what that means is we're not living in our now. We're missing that now. So be in your inner space is encouraging all of us this week to really be intentional about connecting. And it's connecting to self and source, whatever that version of source is for you. And I feel also like with the be in your inner space, this week it's really important that we all make a concerted effort to do this at least once a day. And I'm hearing that we need to do it at least once a day because the energy this week is going to be, I keep hearing tenderhearted. So I feel like there's more sensitivity. There's more emotionality that's going to come up. So I don't feel like everyone's going to be like heightened emotional and big puddles. But what I do feel is everyone is going to be a little more sensitive to words, sensitive to what they're watching or witnessing, and being a little more tenderhearted. So quicker to tearing up, perhaps, or feeling that compassionate space for someone, holding a compassionate space for someone. I feel like that's kind of where things are at. So when you are in your inner space, it's fortifying you for what is coming out in the real world or what is being shown, sort of not the real world, the outer world, what is being shown or reflected to you in the outer world. I'm also hearing that there are quite a few of us that are going to have the opportunity to show others how to do this. So it's not, this message doesn't feel like it's as simple and obvious as someone walks by your desk while you're just closing your eyes and like, oh, what were you doing? It doesn't feel like it's that. It feels more like you're going to be witnessing someone's reactivity or witnessing someone's tenderheartedness. And you're going to say, you know what? Let me hold your hand, or put the pencil down, or, just focus with me for a second, look into my eyes, just breathe, connect. Where are you feeling this? And I feel like a lot of us, it's going to be in the heart space. So if you're feeling your heart, let's give a little bit of love to your heart. Let's give a little attention to your heart. Let's bring in a soothing balm to be able to coat the heart so that you are able to feel into what you're feeling without getting, sort of diving deep into the feeling or the emotion. Because sometimes when we dive deep into a feeling or emotion, we can get lost in it. We capsize. And then we lose focus and our energy levels go down. So we want to keep those energy levels up. We want to keep that frequency high. That's part of being in our inner space. When you're in that inner space, you're connecting with your soul, right? You're connecting with your essence, your home frequency. So that's where we want to be this week. All right. And that inner bomb message. So I'm going to tap in. I'm going to do a channeling from an archangel, and I'm already hearing it as I'm talking. Archangel Raphael wants to come through. As soon as I heard the message about the soothing balm, I was like, okay, we're going to talk about the soothing balm. So I'm going to close my eyes now, and it'll just take me about 30 seconds or so, and I'm going to call in Archangel Raphael. He's kind of here already. So let's see what he has to say around being in our inner space. Greetings, dear ones. I am Archangel Raphael, known as the Archangel of Healing. I wish to add to the message that there is much disruption in the heart frequency field from a collective perspective. Many of you watching this are feeling into this disruption and taking it in as your own. It is important at this time to discern between what feeling and emotion is yours and what feeling and emotion you may be unintentionally tapping into from those around you or from the collective conscious itself. Many of you here are so sensitive. You are here because you are opening and awakening to your true potentials. We encourage this opening, for it is the human path. But we caution you to really understand frequency and how it works within your energetic field as well as your physical field. This is not a time for you all to feel the burnout, and we know that you are feeling the burnout. So this week we offer to you a message of discernment and distancing from what frequency is not solely your own. This will help you to feel more at peace. And it can be achieved and realized when you go within and connect to your own energy waves. It is separate from feeling and emotion. Seek it through sensation. This is the ideal way to discern for yourselves what you are tapping into. I and my angelic collective wish you high frequency and deep peace at this time. Be well. Okay, so next part, where we're going here. Beautiful message from Raphael. Keone, what time is it? We got the sneak preview, just a little taste. You're on mute.
I love our dysfunction. Any other show, if I mess up on any other show, I nearly kill myself. But with you, when I mess up, I just laugh and just keep moving.
Because that's what it's all about. I mean, life really is not the show on the stage. Life is really the show that is off stage. It's always what's going on behind the scenes. It's always the backstage show. You know, we forget about that. We are always thinking about how everything looks to the outside, but really the reality of it is we're all backstage.
The show on the stage, Stacey. We're going to bring up my past right now. I'm going to let you keep going.
All right, so we are pulling a deck from the. We're pulling a. Oh, okay, blah blah blah. We are pulling a tarot card from the tarot deck by Chris Ann. It's called the Light Seers Tarot. This is one of my absolute favorite tarot decks.
See, we didn't have the wine at the noon Monday show when we used to do it. The wine wasn't drinking.
Well, you know, I was actually tempted to have a glass of wine here because on Winged Wednesdays, I usually had like a little glass of wine next to me. I didn't drink it very often. I always waited until right after the show. I thought about it today and I'm like, I'm in my studio. It's the first night. I should probably be a little more professional. So this is Stacey without wine.
That went out the window as soon as we started.
That's right. So our tarot card for this week. Oh, this is beautiful. And I got to tell you folks, this has been coming up for me like crazy in my own personal readings as well. We've got King of Pentacles. So beautiful energy for us to be in. What I'm feeling, especially around our message about the be in your inner peace, the King of Pentacles energy, and you can see from this depiction, and of course it's a sort of depicted as a man, but I'm going to just say they because it's neither man nor woman. It's sort of the energy of the individual or the person. What I'm feeling here is he's sitting here very relaxed. He's in his own kingdom. He's chilling. He's completely safe and secure. He's got all of his needs met. His trusty companion is by his side, and they're just having a nice, quiet moment. They're being still. They're being in their inner space. Both of them, the dog and the king together. So the King of Pentacles, first of all, Pentacles energy is the realm of the physical. It's material stuff. It's health and wealth. And I feel that it's also a culmination of all of the different elements that come together in the physical. So if we think about swords, it's manifesting, right? I have a thought, I have an inspiration. How do I bring it into the physical? How do I make it mine? King energy is leadership and mastery. And I feel like the message here is owning your mastery around the fact that not everything has to get done all at once. Not everything has to be done in a certain way, kind of like what Keone and I were just talking about. It is what it is. You roll with it, and it's life. You can choose to be in your inner space, and in that inner space, you find peace. There's a lack of anxiety. There's more of an energy of trust. This is offering you the opportunity to really connect with yourself and source, to be able to open yourself to hearing the messages. You know, things are going on right now in the world that none of us as a single person can really go in and single-handedly stop or turn around or shift. If that was the case, you know, things would have been done a long time ago, right? Because there are so many of us that want to see the change. But what we can do is we can be in our own countenance. We can send the energy of the vision of what we need out there. We can send the energy of peace. For so many people out there who have no concept or idea of how to achieve inner peace, the fact that you're making the effort to achieve the inner peace and setting the intention that you're sharing it with the collective, you're putting it out into the world, just having that thought and that intention. It's as simple as that. It makes a difference and people feel it. People can feel the peace, even if it's just for a second. It's like they're borrowing the peace from somewhere. They don't know where it came from, but they were asking for peace and all of a sudden it came. It's because you're doing it. You're in your own countenance. You're calm and you're in the present moment. You're not wasting your life in the what ifs and the overwhelm of I can't fix any of it, so I'm just not going to do anything at all. I can't fix all of it, so I'm not going to do any of it. You don't have to be in that space. This is the space of owning where you're at, owning how you feel, and saying, okay, I'm taking a minute to tune in. I'm tuning out of this to tune into this, and setting the intention that the inner work that I'm doing is going to radiate out into the collective, and it's going to make a positive difference. It's going to shift at least one other person on this planet, and there are how many billions of people on the planet. It's going to make a difference for at minimum one person in the 5 minutes or the 10 minutes or the 20 minutes that I sit and I chill. Now that is powerful. That's powerful peace. That's peaceful power. So that's a big thing this week. I also want to say, I feel like there's a lot of energy around the financial things, and there's going to be more stuff that's coming up this week that's going to shake the foundation of a lot of people's concepts or ideas of what has been. And I want to encourage everyone this week to stay in your leadership, to stay in your mastery, to stay in your own countenance. Don't get sucked up into the fear wheel, because it is a wheel, and I feel that it is being and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and this is not my opinion. This is literally what's coming through. The fear wheel is being steered, like someone's behind it. Someone is, or a group of someone's is behind that energy. There is purpose around drudging up fear or keeping fear going. And we, as sensitive souls, light seekers, empaths, starseeds, psychics, intuitives, all of it, healers, we know that there's another path. We know that there is another level and layer of frequency that we can tap into that will keep us above the fray. And it's not about avoidance, and it's not about what's that term that people use all the time? Spiritual bypassing. It's not that. It's recognizing that when I go into that lower level, it's a hell of a lot harder for me to come up. And I need to be up here. I'm going to use the analogy that I've been using for a couple of years. You know, ever since COVID, I say we have the technology. We went from having to live and work on the 3rd floor of an apartment building to now we're living on the 5th floor. And there was a time when we lived on the 5th floor, but we got into the elevator to go down to the 3rd floor every day. And every day we would get into that elevator feeling great, and we'd land on the 3rd floor and we would be drained. And by the time we went back up to the 5th floor, it took us like a whole day to recover in that peaceful, highfalutin energy of where we were living. Well, now we all can work remotely, right? So from a spiritual perspective, you've got the spiritual, I want to say like the camera, you can drop the camera and that has a microphone and everything into it. And it just, you drop it down to the 3rd floor, but you're still on the 5th floor. You don't have to leave that frequency in order to be able to do the work that you need to do in the 3rd dimension, right? On that 3rd floor level. So use that, pay attention to that. This week, it's really important that you stay in that higher frequency energy. And even though there is a lot of stuff that's going around and going on, it doesn't mean you're avoiding it or ignoring it. It means that you're approaching it from a higher frequency. And it also doesn't mean that it has to be like toxic positivity either. It can be realistic, but you're simply saying, okay, it's going to serve the collective better if I'm sending positivity into the collective, if I'm sending a vision, if I'm connecting to my peace and sending that peace out. So I'm connecting to that inner space. I'm in my inner space. And no matter what's going on, it's not knocking me out of that inner space. I'm still able to activate and do what I need to do. I'm just choosing to remain high in my frequency and vibration. That's really important. All right. For our oracle pull, I am pulling cards from Kyle Gray's, what was it called? Gateway of Light Activation. That's what it's called.
You know, if you just look at the words I put on the screen, sometimes they can help you out a little bit.
I'm sorry, and I think I told you the wrong name of it, but we're close. The Gateway Activation Oracle. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything. It's me.
I have a hard enough time spelling the things correctly.
It's all good, dude. It's all good. All right. So our complimentary message here from the Oracle is Sword of Light, divine protection, cords cut, breakthrough energy. Look at this. It almost looks like a phoenix rising from the sword. Of course, I'm all about the phoenix. I'm all about transformation. So this resonates with me here. So looking at the Sword of Light, I feel like that the message that's standing out here is the cords cut. So I want to say this is very similar to what I was just talking about staying in your peace, like staying in your inner space. And you can still interact with the world and do what you need to do, but you're not knocked off of your, sort of off balance. Well, you're doing that. In essence, you're cutting the cords to the negativity, or I was talking about, sort of the wheel, and someone or a grouping of someone's is steering that wheel of negativity or that wheel of fear. Well, you're cutting the cord from it. You're no longer a spoke in the wheel. You're removed from that wheel entirely. And that wheel can still go on and do what it needs to do. And you're just choosing not to be a part of it. You're choosing not to engage. So I feel like the Sword of Light message is coming through for all of us this week to remind us that we have the ability to choose what we engage in and what we choose to say, not today, maybe tomorrow. I'm simply not going to do that. And I keep hearing doors closing, doors opening. So when I'm tapping into that energy, I feel very much like it's an intentional choice. I'm closing this door or I'm opening this door. And when I close the door, I'm either closing it so that no one can come in, or I'm closing it so that I'm no longer a part of it. And when I'm opening the door to allow something in, or I'm opening the door so I can walk through into another energy of light or dimension of light. I'm hearing with work-related stuff this week, you want to all kind of visualize that you have this beautiful Sword of Light in your pocket. I want everyone to have some imaginative fun. Even if you're a doodler or whatever, doodle the sword and the hilt and the sheath and all the rest of it. Design it in your mind, so that when you're walking around or you're connecting at work, you have this Sword of Light that is going to allow you to cut through any cords. And yes, it can cut through bullshit too, because I know when we're at work, we have to deal with a lot of that. So it can cut through the bullshit too, but it's there to cut through any denser energy, any situations that are trying to pull you down or draw you into something that's a lower vibrational energy. You have the ability to cut the cord. All of us at one point this week, I feel from a work perspective, and I'm hearing boss. So I feel like it's almost the energy of boss. And if you're like me and you're your own boss, it's going to be coming from you. So pay attention to you, talking to you, and what that inner voice is like. I feel like there's going to be some tension. There's going to be a misunderstanding or a misconstruement. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is right now, of messaging and of meaning. And so what you want to do is you want to cut the cord as though you are diffusing the misunderstanding. You're diffusing that misinformation. And when you cut the cord, all of a sudden the clarity shows up. So I want you to use that as a visualization as well, is that I pull my sword from the sheath and I'm cutting through this. You can call it tension, but I'm really feeling like it's a miscommunication or something that's being misconstrued. You're cutting through all of that, and suddenly there's clarity, there's light, the Sword of Light, and you're transforming it. Hence I feel like it's Phoenix. So hence the Phoenix, you're transforming it. So I feel like there's a message there around reminding yourself that you, again, have the power, talking about that King of Pentacles energy. You have the power to be able to engage in the nonsense and shenaniganery that sometimes can be life, or you can choose to step more into the light, transmute the nonsense and shenaniganery energy into light energy, light feeling, light emotion. God, this is such a beautiful card. Also, we're seeing, of course, a lot of the orange and the yellow, and then the blue, the sort of blue makes me think of Archangel Michael coming through, because these are his colors. It's like a yellow and blue combination. He's connected to the throat chakra, but he's also very connected to the solar plexus chakra. He carries the sword of truth, and we speak our truths, we communicate our truths, but he's also about power. He's about bravery. He's about protection and courage, which all comes from that solar plexus chakra, which is the yellow energy. And the orange is the feelings and emotions, right? So it's not allowing the feelings and emotions to overtake us, because if we do, we're never going to manifest clearly what it is that we want. We won't manifest that inner stillness, that inner being, that inner peace. Loving the message this week. All right, Keone, what is next? What do we got? I'm just so excited about these. These are brand new today, guys. He surprised me like 30 seconds before the show that we've got these beautiful, I don't even know what they're called, like title cards or introductory. What are they called?
You can say transition.
All right. Well, I love them. I love the transitions. They're freaking awesome. And I love the colors. So hopefully everyone else loves the colors here too. So grab your decks. Yes. It is time to grab your decks.
I hope they get to start coming on Wednesdays, but I'm already missing Tri-Red and Indu and Ragu.
Are they not here yet?
No, I don't think they're here, but Christy is here and Cynthia is here with us. Janet is here with us. There's some others here with us, but they haven't commented. So it doesn't tell you who's in here unless they comment. So, Tri is here. Oh, it used to say Tri-Red. Now it says Tri, but it says Tri. So I'm happy.
Oh, good.
Tracy's going to go.
Tri is here. Oh, that's so great.
She's going to sync herself in and find out what our questions are. Everybody make sure you go ahead and grab your decks. And while you're doing that, again, if you have your own deck, make sure you go ahead and pull that card. Tell us what it is, whether it's one card or two cards. Tell us what cards those are. If you need a card pulled from Stacy herself, she'll pull it from her deck. Just let us know if you want it one or two once she forms those questions. And again, if you'd like to come on live, there is a link in the Insta chat for you to click on and to come on here live. When you come on live, for those of you who are new, you do not have to be on camera if you do not wish to be on camera. You can, it'd be lovely, but if not, you can disable your camera when you come on. As long as we can hear your wonderful voice, we'll be happy to have you here. Now, Stacy will either tell me when she's come up with the questions, or she'll let me talk until I get lightheaded and pass out on the camera. I don't know which one it is.
I'm almost done.
So just remember, we are now Wednesday nights, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. for Demystify the Divine. Of course, always watch the playback on YouTube. So those of you who wrote that they did not see it on Facebook, I apologize again. I will find out what is the technical issue that we've had the last 2 weeks with Facebook. We will get that rectified, because I know we had a bunch of people watching us on Facebook and were commenting it. So we'll get that fixed. But thank you for coming over onto the YouTube to watch us do it on YouTube from Facebook. Okay? And as I start to black out from talking and the oxygen is fleeting from my body, I think Stacy is done.
You're going to start hallucinating now. Who's the psychic now, right? All right. So I've got two cards two questions that I have channeled for, and I want you to grab your decks, and you're going to pull two cards. And the first card is, what card will help me to find my inner space this week? So some of us already have a real sense of that inner space. So what I would say is, if you already have a sense of your inner space and you're like, I don't need a card to help me find it, what I would want you to sort of say instead is, what card will help me to expand into a little bit more into that inner space? Because expansion of it means ascension. It means higher frequency, higher awareness of self. So that's how I'm going to put that. And the second question is, what card offers support for your heart space frequency this week? I feel like that's really, really important. So Card 1, what card will help me to find my inner space or to expand into my inner space? Card pull 2, what card offers support for our heart space frequency? And since this is the first time that I'm coming on with the combined show, I'm going to pull a card for myself for each of the questions and just do a quick little sort of interpretation of what I'm getting.
She always gets the good stuff.
I do. I always get the delicious stuff. I love it. So I'm pulling a tarot card for the first question. What card will help me to find my inner space? So for me, it's about expand into my inner space. I got Page of Cups. So this particular depiction of Page of Cups has the little pig that's flying, and it always makes me think of when pigs fly. Well, this pig is flying. So this card gives me the sense that, you know, whatever it is that I can envision and I can dream and I can imagine, it can become. This is the time when pigs are flying. So that means, all right, whatever I put into motion, whatever I feel into existence is going to come into existence. So what card will help me to expand into my inner space? It's believing in things that I can't prove. I feel like that's what I'm going to say. So it's things that I can't prove, or things that I don't necessarily see, but I feel it, or I just know it. And so I feel that the message for me is, when I'm expanding into that, it's also getting out of my 3D brain, where this has been a very interesting time for me of having to be very present in 3D life, what I call 3D life. And also really having to, I love being up here all the time. I would be up here constantly if I could, but then I don't manifest anything, right? So it's very interesting for me. So this is almost like giving me permission to be a little more up here while I'm in the everyday. So that's my card pull for question 1. And then my second card pull is, what card offers support for my heart space frequency? Oh, and this card just flipped out at me. I don't know if you guys saw that on camera, but that's cool. So Venusian Galactic Council, star being guides, answer the call, time to shine. What I'm drawn to in this card, and I'm just going to show you kind of how yes, with the tarot, I understand the system of divination behind it, but I also read it intuitively. And that's why I showed you the thing that I was drawn to right away was when the pigs fly. That was the message. I didn't tell you what the rest of the card meant, because that was the message I was getting. So when you're pulling your cards for yourself and you're not quite sure how to interpret it, pay attention to what you're drawn to on the card. Usually we're drawn to an aspect of the card or an image of the card. So in this case, what I'm really drawn to is all of the light beings, the light energy. I'm not even drawn to the color behind it. I'm drawn to all of the light. And there are 3 things coming to a point. And what it actually looks like to me is a bit of a pyramid. And so when I'm saying the card that's going to offer me support for my heart space frequency, I'm very connected to all things Egyptian. And especially when I'm doing any kind of meditative work, that's the frequency that I'm always drawn to. So my dream team right now is giving me the message that I need to go into that pyramidic sort of meditation space that I often will create for myself. So it's really connecting to the sacred geometry of things. And it's really intentionally for me going into that pyramidic space in my mind when I'm meditating. So that's how I'm sort of interpreting the cards for myself today. Would love to see anybody here that's bringing up a card. You can come on live. Would love to see you and help you to interpret your messages. So who have we got, Keone?
All right, Stacy. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do Try.
Awesome.
And Try Red got 6 of Wands and 8 of Wands. Lots of Wands.
Oh, yes. All the Wands, Try. That's awesome.
Starting to think he's wanding on purpose. He must like Harry Potter.
Well, then we are not like-minded. We're soul connected. There's another phrase that for whatever reason is slipping my mind because I'm in the clouds, which actually is swords, but Wands is the spirit and the passion and the fire. So I'm kind of in the wands with you. And actually in real life, I'm really with the wands too, because I'm doing a lot of creation. So 6 of Wands for you. What card will help you to find your inner space or your inner space and connect to the inner space? 6 of Wands is beautiful because it is the card of victory. It is the card of excellence. It is the card of I succeeded, and everyone's kind of looking at me. They're looking at me with adoration. They're looking at me with pride, with excitement, with awe, with not envy. Well, yeah, maybe it can be envy as well, I guess. So what is going to help you to find your inner space? Feeling victorious, feeling like you're on top of the world, feeling into those spaces of accomplishment. And if you have to fake it this week, if you're having a week where you're like, God, I just like everything sucks, or I suck at everything and I can't seem to do anything right, this is an invitation for you right away to flip it up, to turn it around and to say, no, I'm going to focus on something I know I'm really good at. Because when I breathe into that space, when I go within and I feel into that accomplishment, it allows me to expand that space. And for those of you who aren't fully sure about where your inner space is, it might feel a little small at first. When you feel into something where you're like, yeah, I accomplished that. That was awesome. Like I just rocked with that. And there's no doubting that. There's no questioning that. What's going to happen is when you bring it into that inner space is going to expand a little bit. And the more it expands, the more of that feeling you can contain and you can utilize and I want to say, manufacture it exponentially, right? So I feel like for you, that's the message, is really feeling into those times when you are accomplished, where you have, been successful at achieving a goal or a desired outcome, and you're feeling on top of your game. Step into those moments. Remember those moments, recreate them in the body space and specifically in your solar plexus, and feel your energy expand. That's going to be awesome for you. So the second one is 8 of Wands. What card offers support for your heart space frequency? I'm going to say to you right now, let that shit go. Let that shit go. So 8 of Wands is really cool because it is a card of swift release. And sometimes it can be a swift release of I'm releasing the kite out into the wind, and the kite's got the beautiful message. Think of like a message in a bottle. It's tied to the kite string, and wherever the kite lands, whoever finds it, they're going to find this little message, and I'm swiftly letting it go. Swift release also can indicate something that I wasn't anticipating is leaving my life. It's going out the door, and oh crap, I wasn't ready for that. No, wait, I'm trying to no. Swift release, let it go. And I feel like that is going to help you to elevate the energy in your heart coherence, because it's probably something that has been connected to the heart space that maybe doesn't need to be connected to the heart space. It's connected to the heart space and it's sort of keeping it small or contained. And the heart does not need to be contained right now. The heart actually needs to be out and loud and proud. That's what the heart space needs to be. So those are great cards for you. And I love that it's Wands again, because Wands is that fire, that passion, that spirit, that, what is my purpose? What is my soul-driven purpose? And how do I feel about where things are at? I'm also going to say to you, the 6 and the 8, when you add them together, 14, which breaks down to a 5. Shifting, changing, transformation. 5 also can be conflict, and in tarot it often references conflict. I'm feeling like this is actually that you're moving out of conflict. You're moving through a period of conflict, and you're moving now more into, okay, I've released all of that. What's next? Bring it on. I'm ready for something new, and I'm ready for new in that passion place and space. I'm ready for new in the soul essence space. So this is going to be a great week for you. Really excited to see how that turns out. As always, thanks for submitting your questions and for asking for the card pull. That's great.
You said 8 and 4, and I almost said 15. That's what I was laughing. I said her name 3 times, and she popped up like Beetlejuice.
Oh, Indu! are you?
Good. How are you? I'm sorry I joined a bit late. I'm going to replay this.
Oh, you're fine. No worries at all.
Arrive when you mean to.
That's right. See,
But-
Yoni knows. We're
I
always where we're supposed to be.
Time.
Was
Yeah.
that Ragu? Did I see Ragu? Tell Ragu to get out of the camera. It's not his turn this week. Get out of the camera, Ragu.
Hi, Ragu. The ghost of Ragu.
Here.
All right, Indu. So what card deck are you pulling from today?
Actually, I let Raghu pick up the deck and he picked the oracle cards from the Divine Feminine.
Oh, very cool. I love that one. Yes, Megan Waterson.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite decks. I say that every time. So you know that.
Yeah, she said that for all 72 decks that she uses.
I know, it's crazy. And I actually just bought a couple more. So you'll be seeing some new ones.
I need to find out which ones you got.
Yes. Oh, I will be happy to share them with you. I think I'm gonna pull from them next week, actually. They're little like affirmation kind of cards. So it just gives you like a little affirmation and a beautiful little picture to meditate on. It's pretty cool.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. So what's your first card pull? What card will help you to find your inner space?
Well, it's interesting. The first card is Anandamayi Ma.
Beautiful.
The joy permitted mother.
Joy permeated mother. So Ma is of course mother in Sanskrit, Hindi. Ananda is happiness. Mai is somebody who's filled with. So the mother filled with happiness is a literal meaning of this card.
I love that. And what is the saying on the card on the bottom?
I am my own.
It says, I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes.
Oh, so basically it's opening that inner space, going into the inner space and filling it with joy. It's really stepping into that joy-hearted space. So you don't need to find you don't need to find your inner space. You need to expand into it. So I feel like the message that's coming through for you really clearly is how do I bring more joy into my space? And I'm going to take that time out, and you'll see this when you watch it back, but we've been talking a lot about the heart space frequency and joy, and how we're not wanting to be knocked out of our inner peace and things like that, cutting energy out. So for you, I feel like when we're talking about, expanding into that inner space, it's really about not allowing anything to get in the way of your joy. And one of the things that came through was taking a little bit of time out every day this week to breathe, to connect with the heart space, to connect intentionally with the soul space, to connect with the mind, the head, and find out where all of these areas are at, how they're feeling, so that you're in the body and connected to source. So joy, let's face it, sometimes when I tap into my head, it doesn't feel like joy. It feels like a train wreck, right? But then when I go into my heart space, from that train wreck, I'm now able to feel into a little bit more peace, or a little bit more vision, or a little bit more love. And then from there, I can allow that to rise. We say the heat rises. It's like that love rises, and it clears away a lot of the train wreck in the mind. I feel like this is the message for you. Allowing that joy space. And your joy, I feel you're going to be tapping actually more into the soul space. So tapping into the solar plexus chakra and allowing the heat to rise from the solar plexus and rising up into the mind, the mental energy space, and then out the head. That's how you're going to clear your channel, so that you're feeling the pure joy that already is you. So it's not that you're bringing joy in for you, it's that you're allowing the joy to expand from within and come out and be seen out into the world. Feeling that in a big way.
Wonderful.
Awesome. What's your second card?
The second one is Dakini, the Enlightened Feminine.
Oh, I love her. So this card is going to offer support for your heart space frequency. So I'm not even going to have you read the message first. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to breathe in the card and tell me either what you smell or what you sensed about the card.
A lot of energy in there. Swirling energy is what I feel.
I love that swirling energy. Does it have a color?
It's kind of bright, like the flame, like intense heat, which can be white.
Yes.
When you say, it was like white hot.
Yes, like a forging heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's what I feel.
So, what card is going to offer support for your heart space frequency? It's the cleansing energy, the forging energy of flame. So, when we think of flame, I want you to consider this week how you can use fire to create more space for the joy that we were talking about that is already within and wants to expand outside of you. So if we think about the flame as being cleansing, purifying, and then if you're going to use that fire to forge, what are you forging? What are you going to create from the heart space? So you've got a soul heart connection in these questions for you this week. I'm telling you, the first one, go into the soul for that energy, and the second one is now the heart energy is going to be able to expand and forge something amazing with that soul energy. So we're talking here alchemy for you this week. It's alchemizing, so taking lead and turning it into gold. And you're doing that from within with your own energies. And it's going to be a very natural process. So be intentional about creating the space for it, but then allow it to happen. There's nothing you need to do aside from what we said, which is, take 5 minutes out every day to connect with that space. And you will be amazed at how you really feel into your energy.
The phrase that just popped up into my head is coming into my own space.
Yes. Well, isn't that so funny? Because the phrase of the week is be in your inner space. Who's the psychic now?
Uh-oh, she's going to take your job, Stacey.
Oh, wow. Be into, see, you question sometimes, but it's there. It's there. It's there full force. Full force. Beautiful. So glad that you were able to come on today. Are you back in town now, or are you still out and away?
No, we're back.
You're back. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, welcome back. Can't wait to hear all about your trip away.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you're enjoying being back in your own space and just being in your inner space and harnessing your chi and allowing the joy to expand a little more fully.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll see you later. Take care. Have a great week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye. You.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Stacey. Bye.
Bye.
All right, we got a live one, but he's not going to come. My friend's going to get a card pull. He's going to pull his own oracle.
Oh, fantastic.
You can pull a tarot one for him.
Okay, sounds great.
There you got to shuffle that. So we'll do you want to do the tarot for question 1?
Sure. So what card will help me to find my inner space or to expand into my inner space this week? Oh, very cool. You got one of my favorite cards. So Knight of Wands. So when I'm looking at this card, what I'm seeing is pure joy. She's lost in the emotion, the feeling, the energy of how good it feels to bang this drum and to be on the beach and to be in the swell of nature. And this is a sunset. And so she's really just embraced in the nature, embraced in her energy, her environment, and her surroundings. And what I'm feeling is going to help you to find your inner space is by actually being aware of your environment and surroundings, making sure that you're in a place of calm and peace. Or maybe it's got some chaos around it, but it's beautiful chaos. It's bright colors and energizing energy, feelings, people, places, things that are in the environment, a place that really makes you happy when you're there. You get excited about it, you feel a recharge. Also, with the Knight of Wands energy, Knights are all about quests. And so I feel when we're talking about the help me to sort of expand into my inner space, I feel like you want to see this week as a quest to get more in touch or in tune with the inner space. And in fact, I'm hearing that it's almost like you want to see it as like, okay, well, I'm doing some renovations and I'm adding on to my inner space. I'm adding on. So what does that add on? What does that addition look like? I get to design it in any way I want. Let me be in the flow of it. Let me be swept away in the passion of my imaginings and my true desires. And that's going to help me to really connect to myself and source. So that's a really cool card. And also there's a beautiful black horse in the background. And I feel like you do have some shadow work that you're doing, but the shadow work is taking a back seat for a little while. You're getting a bit of a break from it to really be able to replenish yourself and to enjoy the the abandonment of being swept away in a passion or a passionate moment. So that feels really good. What's the second card, the Oracle card?
High Priestess.
Oh, from Isis. I love it. What is the message?
Mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis.
Love it. So this is the card that offers support for your heart space frequency. So it's interesting that you pulled from Isis deck, because I was mentioning that, actually, was it this card? No, it was this card that was mine, that I was mentioning the pyramid energy and all things Egypt. And here you are pulling an oracle card from a very Egyptian deck, an Egyptian goddess. So I feel that the heart space frequency for you, the support is actually going to be connecting with goddess Isis and doing similar stuff where you're working with sacred geometry. Perhaps you're doing some drawing of the sacred geometry. You're doing some meditation where you're visualizing yourself in a Merkaba, or you are, on paper creating your own space that you're then going to envision or create in your mind's eye. And I feel very much that the heart space frequency is really going to be connected to what you're receiving on an intuitive level. So I feel that this week you really have the potential to go into a higher frequency and a higher level. And when you do, what it feels like is it's going to open some things up really big for a while, and then it's going to kind of pull itself back a little bit where you're going to integrate it a little bit more. But I do feel that this week, it feels like when things open up, they really open up, and they might even be open like this for about a month before you start to notice more of an integration. But I feel that there's kind of a frequency up leveling happening for you here, which is quite exciting. And I love Goddess Isis because she's extremely powerful. She's like Wonder Woman. She's like the perfect blend of divine masculine and divine feminine. And I feel like that's something that you are perhaps working on, is trying to bring yourself a little bit more into balance. We all have divine masculine and feminine within us. And sometimes we're leaning more into that, action-oriented divine masculine space where we're do, go, go, go. And sometimes we are more in that receptive, inspiring, inspirative isn't a word, inspiring, and I want to say abundant space, creative space. I feel like for you, you've been a little bit more in the divine masculine, and it's time to kind of pull it back a little bit so that you can receive. And I feel like that's why this is coming in. Receive. They want you to go within through some kind of, however you meditate, and work with a little bit of that sacred geometry, because they want to be able to offer you something, but you have to be willing to receive it, or you have to be able to, you have to have the capacity in the body to receive it. And if you're overwhelmed and overloaded, the body can be sometimes like a sponge where it can only take so much and then it's saturated, right? So this is a time for you to not be saturated or oversaturated. This is a time for you to be able to receive. So take advantage of that. You don't have to give. This is a time to receive. So thank you so much for the opportunity to pull a card.
Yep, everything she said means treat Kimberly nicer. All right, so we have Cynthia. Could I get a card pull? I'm wondering if I'm in a good place with my new job I just started.
All right, so Cynthia, I'm going to pull an oracle deck for you. Good place with my, okay, so you're actually getting 2 cards today because 2 just flipped out of the deck in separate ways, so they both have something to say. Inner Earth, base chakra, strength and security, laying foundations. So getting this card right away, I'm feeling, because you're asking about the good place with your new job, I feel that this is going to be foundational for you. This is a place where you're going to be able to build foundation, to feel safe and secure in what it is you've got. And I want to say you can trust what's going on in there. Like I feel like you can trust that you're going to have a job. I feel that you can trust the process of how things are moving and flowing, and you can trust that the people who are bringing you up to speed on your tasks are genuinely wanting you to succeed, even if it's for their own purposes, that they don't have to do it anymore or whatever the case may be. They are in it to win it with you. They want to see you succeed. So I'm feeling that that's a really positive, powerful message. And then we got third eye activation, brow chakra. So this is third eye chakra, inner vision and clear seeing. Believe in what it is that you are seeing, not necessarily what you're seeing, although I feel that you can believe what you're seeing as well. But it's believe what you're seeing, or I would say as well what you're feeling into, you know, in terms of the intuition. I feel like this is popping up because this particular job is a doorway for you into a new path, like onto a new path, into a new chapter for yourself. And I feel like it goes beyond just a new chapter at work. It feels like it's opening the door to a new chapter, a new foundation in your life. So taking you on a new path. So it's opening a doorway for a new path. Trust it. Step into it. Understand that there are going to be, you know, some peaks and valleys around it, but overall, what I'm feeling is smooth sailing. And I really love the energy that is coming through this card, because we have the light, the galactic light, universal light, and then we've also got the light of the sun, the central sun on Earth, you know, showing us what it is that we're seeing. So heaven and earth coming together in essence, as above, so below. And so I feel that it's really giving you positive messages that you're on the right track, you're in the right space. So have faith, trust in it, and move forward knowing that you are opening some new pathways for yourself. Very exciting. Thank you so much for submitting your questions.
Karen S. got energy oracle cards. First, man holding a heart. Second, 6th chakra archangel Metatron. No, I'm just kidding. It's
I was going to say, no Transformers here.
No, we don't have Transformers, but guess what? We have transmutation.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I love that. So the energy oracle cards, I love the energy oracle cards. So man holding a heart, what card will help me to find my inner space? For you, I feel like the man holding the heart is basically handing you a heart. So it feels like it's a gift from your dream team. And again, I tend to not read these cards saying, oh, this is a man and this is a woman. It's more like the energy. So I'm going to say more divine masculine energy offering the heart. So this is work that you have put into a situation, a relationship, a work task, and you're being given the go ahead to say, it's all working, it's all flowing. Now take a break. Breathe easily, that everything is working out. And because it's a heart, I feel like it's interesting that came up for the first question when the second question is about the heart space. I feel kind of like Indu, that there's going to be a little bit of collaboration between the heart and the soul, or the heart and the mind, body, mind, spirit, right? That what card is going to help you to find or expand into your inner space? It's understanding that you have the permission to take a break and breathe in the love, breathe in the frequency. That is what is going to help you to expand that heart space. And then the second card, the 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. Interesting that it's the 6th chakra, because that is our third eye activation, right? That's the third eye chakra. So getting that from Archangel Metatron, this is offering support for your heart space frequency. Archangel Metatron is in charge of all of the indigos and the crystals in the world. So I'm feeling very much into the fact that you're a crystal. I'm sorry, not a crystal, an indigo, which means that you are here to break down, you know, antiquated structures. You're here to break down anything that you're a bit of a rebel at heart. You're a bit of a rebel at heart, and you're breaking down anything that is no longer serving humanity, and you're bringing that psychic awareness and that psychic wholeness into the world. And so offering support for your heart space frequency, Metatron is there saying, let me recharge you, because you've been doing a lot with your heart space. And your heart space, it's not that your heart space needs a break as much as your heart space needs a cleansing or a clearing out. And I feel like that's why it's the sixth chakra, the third eye activation, because Metatron is coming through and saying, all right, we need to clear the debris from the heart field so that you can be very clear about what you're receiving in, because there's a whole whack of psychic stuff, messages, downloads, information that they want to give to you. The body has to be prepared to receive it. So that seems to be a bit of a theme in the messaging. A lot of us are in a space where we need to receive, but we're full up with a bunch of shit we don't need. So this is the week for you to be able to clear that out and allow that heart frequency to really, I want to say, allow yourself to feel it when it's clean, when it's clear, when it's free of debris, that it is not having to burn up and process and churn out. It's like, here it is. Here I am. Hey world, I have arrived. Here is my heart. I have arrived. My heart and I have arrived. Thank you so much for submitting those. That's really, really cool stuff to look at.
At the end of the day, if none of this works, Stacey always says, shake your booty and you'll feel better.
I actually haven't said that in a while. It has not come up.
I have not.
In our little card pulls and conversations.
You're getting your summer on. Just a couple of comments we'd like to get in here. Tammy North just earlier today says, so true. Cut cord, look outside in. Crazy how you don't see until you stand back. Thank you for guidance. Bless. Namaste.
Thank you, Tammy. Yes, it's so true. We have to take a step back in order to get the whole picture.
Shai says, thank you. Cynthia says, thank you, Stacey and Keone, for doing Wednesday night. And then those are all the comments that we have today. Those are all the guests that we have on. It was an excellent first Wednesday. Of course, a lot of mischief and dysfunction and dysfunction. That's Keone and Stacey here together.
And we love it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Loved being here on Wednesdays. Keep tuning in every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. We will be here. We will be doing our hijinks. Now, I will say to you next week, I won't be here live. It is a pre-record, but here's why. I have not seen my family in almost 4 years, and they're coming for a visit. It's the first time that they've come to the South in, I want to say, 6 years at least. It might even be 7 years. And I haven't seen them in almost 4 because of COVID and, all sorts of stuff. So I wanted to make sure they're only here for 4 days. I wanted to make sure that I had that 4 days where I am work free, not having to focus on anything other than reconnection with them. So I appreciate you for your time, but tune in anyway, because I did a pre-record of the show, and it's really, really good, and there's lots of juicy information about it. So, and then we will be, kind of coming back live after that, and doing more of this. So thank you again so much, guys, for tuning in. Keep your eyes peeled. I am about to reveal information around my Ignite Your Wings Wisdom for Transformation membership. So many goodies coming up. Can't wait to share it all with you guys. Have an amazing week. Thanks, Keone.